So, and oftentimes people miss those signals coming from the strong ones. So how would someone know that you're struggling if you didn't explicitly tell them so?
Honestly, I would tell them so.
Okay.
That's, I mean, I don't want to lie about this, you know? I mean, you don't have to mind read with me.
Mm.
I will straight up tell you I'm not doing well right now. I had a girlfriend message me yesterday and she goes, "Hey, you want to talk on the phone?" I said, "I'm not really feeling it right now." Straight, I wasn't feeling it. I'm hormonal. I did not want to do anything. I just wanted to watch my movie. I didn't want to get on the phone. So I don't avoid things. If someone asks me a question, I'm going to be straight up with you and just tell you the deal. Just like I told you when I had to reschedule this call and I told you exactly what was up. I
Yep.
was struggling that day. I was like, I have 6 calls back to back. I could not do this call on top of that. So you will know from me. There will be no secret because I don't believe in making people have to read my mind. I don't think
Mm.
that's fair to people. I think it's our responsibility to say if we need help. So that's what I mean, that's how you would know. I would tell you.
How would it have looked 10 years ago?
Oh, I would just tell you. I would only give you the highlight reel of my life. I remember that was the biggest issue that my sister had with me, my older sister. She would say to me, "Anytime I ask you how you're doing, you tell me all that you've done." She goes, "You
Mm.
don't ever tell me how you're feeling." So that was a big difference for me. I would go into my list of accomplishments and how much money I've made and how many new clients I signed rather than telling you how I'm really feeling. So that's a big change for me.
Was that a smoke and mirror for you, or was that a smoke and mirror for like your audience?
Both.
Yeah.
Definitely both. Because as long as I was doing good on the outside, then I didn't really have any issues,
Mm.
in my
Eh,
own mind.
Your sister, are you guys close in age?
She's 4 years older than me.
She's 4 years old. She sounds like she's been a fantastic, ally and friend for you.
She is literally, I mean, when we were younger, obviously we fought because, I mean, I was a younger one. I was always being compared to her. So I was always irritated by her. And she was always irritated by me because I got away with so much, being the youngest in the family. But we talk every day. She's the only person who can call me at 6:45 a.m. in the morning and I will pick up. She's the only person. I'll be recording a podcast and interview or an episode, and my sister will call me, and I'll be like, "Hold on 1 second." No, I love her so much. You don't understand. She used to play the role of mother for me, but as we got
Mhm.
older, we didn't want to play that. I didn't want her to play that role anymore. I already have a mother. I wanted a sister. And so we're in a season of really looking at what does that mean for us to be sisters. Like she just came to visit me back in November here in Austin, Texas. We had the best time. I just went to go visit her in Philly with her family and I saw my mother and father too. We had the best time. She's a great ally. So thank you for recognizing her.
Yeah, no, I think it's so important. I feel like oftentimes people feel as though that they're alone in their journey, whether you struggle from substances or not. I feel like people feel like they're alone, and to be able to turn to someone like sounds like what you have in your sister is so important when we're a little bit lost and we're kind of grasping for direction and support. So I just love to hear that I have I've got siblings of my own, and you know every once in a while when I have to have a conversation with someone that I just don't know if I can have with anybody else, I'll reach out to my sister because we've been through it since she's 2 years younger than I am. So we've been through it since we were toddlers
Yeah.
basically. So
Oh,
there's just a degree of like knowledge that somebody else can have of you that no one else can really have because of like that
yeah.
history. So I
I mean,
love that.
whenever we talk about our mother, we know exactly
Yeah.
what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Like there is that level of familiarity and childhood upbringing that only she's the only person on the planet who will understand.
No, no, I love that. Last question I have for you is, for someone who's sitting there and they're looking for ways to really open their lives back up. They're looking for ways to turn the corner on their addiction, but even more so than just turning the corner on addiction, but stepping into their own power. But they have no idea what that first step is going to be. What would you suggest to that person?
I want you to remember that it's going to get better. It really is. You sometimes without the thing that we've been holding on to for so long, we can feel like our life is going to be boring. It's going to be uneventful, that we're not going to have any fun. But I can say this now, having thought that cocaine was my medicine. I used to call cocaine my medicine.
Mm.
And I really relied heavily on it back in the day. And now having not used it at all for 5 years, I mean, everything I ever wanted in life has come to me because I stopped doing stupid shit. I
Yeah.
mean, period. So it's like you can have anything you want. You got to stop doing the stuff that's hurting you. I remember God having a conversation with God, and I remember hearing these words, Vasavi, I'll give you anything you want, but you need to learn how to love yourself. And I'm not going to give you everything that you want until I know that you fully love yourself. And I
Mm.
remember hearing those words, and I just, just making that my mission. It's like asking myself, is this an act of love? Is this an act of love? Is speaking to myself in this way an act of love? So for that person listening, I just want you to remember that it does get better, but you got to listen to yourself and you got to do what's right for you.
Yeah.
And you got to do right by you. It's not even what's right for you, but you like treat yourself with that respect. Start with that. Like, is this what a self-respecting person would do? And it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard conversation to have with yourself, because you're probably going to find out that you haven't been treating yourself with respect, but at least you can start somewhere. You can
Yeah.
start by having that conversation and by being honest with yourself. That in and of itself is just as good.
Yeah, I think that the point of acknowledgement is so powerful. We have them, over, many times over the course of our lives. It's just a matter of at what point in time are we willing to start listening to that and acting on that very, very true acknowledgement that one's having with oneself. You mentioned this voice of God. Do you decipher between the conversation you're having with yourself and that voice and the voice that you hear of God speaking to you?
Yes, I can distinguish it. There's like the inquisitive, curious Vasavi, and then when I speak to God, and then I hear a voice back, and it's usually like very instructive and directional. It'll just tell me what to do. It'll
Mm,
just speak to me in a very firm, gentle kind of way, and that's the voice of God for me.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.